Can Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs flip this giant Alabama commitment? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. I've got notes on that and other big-time notes on official visitors who are in Athens this weekend. It's a loaded recruiting video, so make sure you are heading over to Dawg Post to read all about it, but I definitely want to come on and share some notes with you. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of big-time targets, flip targets, guys who are leaning Georgia's way, 5-star notes. We've got it all in today's video. So if you want to become a Georgia fan or a smarter Georgia fan, at least, this is the video for you to stay updated on recruiting. Now, the guy I want to start this video off with is Chris Booker. He is a 4-star guard from Atlanta, Hateville Charter. He's been committed to Alabama since late February. Georgia offered after the fact, and they're trying to push hard and flip him. He will be in Athens this weekend for a major official visit, and this is a guy that I like a lot. 6'4", 285. He is mean. He is a bully, just vicious, but he's mobile. I mean, this guy can pull in the run game. He can flatten defenders. He can get to those linebackers at the second level. He's a promising pass protector, but he is a mauler in the run game. Again, he's a 4-star. He's a top 300 prospect in the country. I think he's the number 24 interior guard prospect in the country. If there's 23 other guys better than him on the inside, that's really impressive because this guy is someone I am really, really high on. You watch the tape, it's just pancake, pancake, pancake. Dude is legit, and he will be in town. He is one of several flip targets for the Dawgs who will be in town this weekend. So Chris Booker, a 4-star guard committed to Alabama from Atlanta, will be at Georgia this weekend. Definitely a guy to keep a close eye on. If Georgia pushes hard here, wouldn't surprise me if he opened up that recruitment and gave Georgia a stronger look. We'll see how this visit goes. Another guy who I was able to confirm will be in town this weekend. I did not include him in my other video because I did not hear it from him specifically, but I was able to confirm that 5-star wide receiver Cedar Morgan will be in town for a giant official visit. Now, he is a heavy Alabama lean, right? This is not a guy that I'm expecting Georgia to land at this moment. We'll see how this official visit goes, but this guy is legit. The number 2 wide receiver in the country, the number 14 overall prospect, okay? This guy is elite, 6'4", 210, a pass-catching machine with size, speed. I mean, this guy checks just about every box you look for. 70 catches last year for 1,162 yards, 14 touchdowns. Again, he's one of the biggest playmakers across the country. Again, heavy Alabama lean. That's where I expect him to sign with. But hey, he's going to be in Athens. We'll see if things change and if Georgia can gain some momentum in his recruitment. They're going to roll out the red carpet because this guy is a big, big deal. But it's going to take a lot, I think, for him to not sign with Alabama. But Georgia's going to give it their best shot this weekend. So 5-star Cedar Morgan will be in town. I was able to confirm that, so just wanted to share that with y'all. Another wide receiver, this one's committed elsewhere, but he's going to be in town as well, is Devin Carter. He is a electric, speedy wide receiver out of Douglas County who's committed to Auburn. He's been committed to Auburn for a while now. 6 foot, 165 pounds. Taking his visits. I'm not expecting Georgia to flip him from what I'm hearing right now. I think, he set the official visit a while ago, and he's just going about the process. I think he's pretty strong to Auburn. Georgia already has 3 wide receivers on the commit list, right? Vance Spafford, Brady Marchese, and Ryan Mosley. So there's only room for 1, maybe 2 more. I think if Cedar Morgan were able to jump on board, they would welcome him with open arms. But Devin Carter, still a guy to know, 6 foot, 165. He's the number 19 wide receiver in the country, number 123 overall. Caught 41 passes last year for 669 yards and 5 touchdowns. The kid can absolutely run. He's one of the best wide receiver prospects in the state, as I try to pull up the story that I have written over on Dawg Post, because I'm going to talk about some unofficial visitors as well. But the 3 guys that I've talked about, Chris Booker, again, Alabama commitment on the interior, Cedar Morgan, and Alabama lean, and Devin Carter, who is an Aubrey commitment, will be in town, as will Isaiah Williams. This was another guy. It took me a while to confirm it with him, but he will be in town for an official visit. Now, this one's tricky because dude has been committed to like 5 other places. I think there was Louisville, Syracuse, Florida, maybe Miami, something. Now he's committed to Ole Miss. So he's been bouncing around his commitment left and right. So a flip to Georgia would not be surprising, but I'm not sure it would mean anything. However, This dude is an animal. He is the number 3 linebacker in the country, number 50 overall, okay? So an outstanding player. He's intimidating. He is one of the hardest hitting guys across the country. And again, I think he's a recent Ole Miss commit. I think he flipped from Florida to Ole Miss not too long ago, but his commitment apparently doesn't mean anything because, again, he's just flipping left and right. He made 125 tackles last fall, 15 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 1 interception. Kid can absolutely play, and he knows how to deliver a hit. He is an intimidating linebacker, but he's not the biggest guy, 6'1", about 225, but he's got some muscle on him, and he is aggressive. He will be in Athens this weekend. Georgia really likes him. They're in the mix for, obviously, 5-star Tyler Atkinson. Isaiah Williams is one. Nick Abrams, Shadarius Tootle. So they're in the mix for a lot of linebackers. But if this dude wants to flip, I think Georgia would happily accept that commitment. Now, you got to keep him on board because he could flip like 10 other places between now and when he signs in December. But definitely a guy to keep an eye on because at the end of the day, whoever lands him in December, that'll be the place. But Georgia's pushing for him. There's no doubt the kid is a baller. Okay, so those are 4 official visitors to know. You can read more about the others over on Dawg Post. Here are some unofficial guys because there are some of the best players in the state of Georgia will be in town for an unofficial visit. Cameron McGee is one of them. Now, he is a 2026 guy, so this could have been official, but he told me this will be an unofficial visit to Georgia, one of the fastest rising prospects in the state. He's out of Grayson, state champion. I believe was injured a lot of last year. 6 foot. In my story, unfortunately, I have 2,320 pounds. I think that's 230 pounds. So I hope no one calls me out on that. I need to go fix that in the story. But he is a big-time prospect who saw his recruitment really blow up this spring. Georgia offered. He said, I yelled when I learned about my Georgia offer. I know they produce some of the best defensive linemen in the country. I think he's more of a plan C, plan D option, though, but he'll be in town. We'll see if Georgia pushes for him. Another guy to keep a close eye on, someone I've talked a lot about, Teddy Gerard, the quarterback out of North Cobb, coming off a terrific sophomore season for North Cobb Christian. He threw for 2,647 yards, 31 touchdowns. He's the number 13 quarterback prospect in the country. His stock is rising. I think his ranking will rise. He's now at North Cobb. Again, played at North Cobb Christian last year, but Georgia finally offered the young man, I guess 2 weeks ago now, during the scavenger hunt weekend. So he was in Athens 2 weeks ago, got the offer. He'll be back in Athens this weekend for an unofficial visit. But this is a guy that I can definitely see being in Georgia's class at quarterback in 2027. So he's a year younger, right? He's not in this current recruiting cycle, but definitely a guy that I think Georgia fans need to keep a close eye on, no doubt about it. So Teddy Gerard will be back in town. Kamari Dorsey is a possible 5-star guy in the 27 class. He's out of Hampton High School, one of the top young two-way players in the state. At wide receiver, he caught 41 passes for 668 yards, 10 touchdowns as a sophomore. He also made 58 tackles and 3 interceptions. 6'2", 190. I got that correct. That weight correct. He's not 1,000 pounds like Cameron McGee that I wrote about. 6'2", 190. Terrific ball skills. I think he's going to play safety at the next level, but he's one of the top defensive backs, not only in Georgia, but across the country in the 27 class. He has a Georgia offer. Wouldn't surprise me if he had 5 stars next to his name when it's all said and done in that 27 class. One of the best in-state prospects, regardless of class. He'll be a junior next year and will light it up. I mean, this kid can absolutely play. He is a baller, and Georgia's in on him. They've offered getting him on campus. Continuing to build that relationship is going to go a long way. Georgia's absolutely in the mix, and if they land him, this is a guy that I think Georgia fans should be thrilled about. Another guy, one of the best prospects in Macon, Tawn Pool. He, again, is in the 2027 class, 6'2", 185, big-time prospect. He can cover, plays safety, cornerback like a receiver. He's a fluid runner. He's got great hands. Just a 3-way player, offense, defense, special teams. He can help you in the return game. One of my favorite prospects in Middle Georgia, really, for that 27 class. He's got a Georgia offer. I think he'll be like a top 15, top 20 at worst player in the state, and one of the top overall athletes in the South, really, for that 27 class. He'll be in town. He's got a Georgia offer, so he's a guy to keep an eye on. And then another guy that I want to mention briefly is Zachary Bellew. Just a freshman last year at North Cobb, but dude ran wild. Over 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns as a freshman for a 6'8" power. So he was running through tough competition week after week after week. I think he could be a 5-star when it's all said and done. I think he's going to be one of the best running backs in the country for the 28 class. 5'11", 210. I spoke with him a couple weeks ago, and he grew up an Alabama fan, but Alabama hasn't offered him, or at least 2 weeks ago, and he was like, I don't like the fact that Alabama hasn't offered me. Georgia's making me a priority. We'll see if things change there and Alabama finally offers this young man, but he is the real deal. If you live in Cobb County, Ackworth, Kennesaw, Cartersville, whatever, and you can drive to see this kid play as a sophomore in the fall, you should definitely do that. He is a big-time player, and George is in on him early. And again, I think he could be a 5-star prospect and one of the best running backs in the country if he's not already. Big deal. He'll be in town for another visit to Georgia. Definitely got to keep a close eye on. So, just a few guys to keep an eye on. It's a major weekend, major recruiting weekend in Athens, and we've got the latest for you over on Dawg Post. Should have more stories coming and updates early next week, but this is massive. Recruiting still matters, and the Dogs have a giant weekend ahead of them this weekend. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you over on Dawg Post.